Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more 0 Hour and welcome back to the World Series 2021. It's actually been a while since I said those words because there's been a long gap between kind of the end of the tournament except the grand finals and then also these third place games taking place rather. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks at least and we've got a very exciting one, a best of 13 for the third place playoff. Now a load of people will probably say, oh, third place, yeah, nobody cares about third place. There's still a lot of money on the line, and still to hold a good ranking, third place in the world is still very good. And we've got two very top level players here, which is Google and Shaye. So we've got Google up in the north with the China on tournament Delta. He's with the red color, and down in the south we've got Shaye, also with the China vanilla, and he is playing with the blue color. So a little bit of history for you. You may or may not know this story already, but I remember a very long time ago when I first started playing Command & Conquer. I don't know if it was like, it may not even be when it was maybe when I first started taking it more seriously, started trying to do 1v1s, or maybe when I was still just messing around in free-for-alls and stuff like that, because I didn't always play 1v1s and 2v2s like competitively. I was just stuck with like the newbie game types. Actually, my best game type was 1v1 quick match on Twilight Flame, but I remember way back in the day when I was a complete noob, probably 10 plus years ago, I remember there was a guy in the lobby called www.google.com, and he had all these insane stats, and he had like the commander-in-chief logo and stuff like that, and that was this Google that we see here today. So it gives you an idea of how long he has been around. And then Shaye has only been around in the last couple of years and has rose to fame pretty quickly. At least rose his skill level very quick. So yeah, just in the last few years. So for me, it's kind of old school versus new school. That's the kind of way I see it. And straight away here, we've got a flamer here from Google, and that is big bad news here for Shaye. I mean, you're losing that supply of 2 trucks at this point in the game. As long as Google doesn't take any damage now, that should be a quick, easy win for him, I would say. This flame wall here from Shaye is going to try and get some damage done. But everything there ultimately gets defended, and this flamer is still alive, and he's even going to flame down the gap. Amazing micro there from Google. We do have an outpost in the back here for Google, for Shaye in Google's base rather. But it does get cleared up. It's not going to cause any damage really. That gap does need to go inside of the war factory to repair, but this war factory here is going down. This is a really solid start here for Google, and Shaye has been defeated rather quickly actually. It is a very open map. Flamers can get in on that map. But that is a very solid win there for Google. But yeah, one flamer like that can just change the game. It just wrecks your base very quickly. One thing to say about these games is that when they were played live, like they were played partly on the 18th of June, and they were played partly, like I think yesterday, the 23rd of June. And the reason for that is they've had loads of disconnection issues. They've had loads of lag issues. They've had the DC screen where they're both counting down and stuff like that. So there's actually one game in this set missing. Game number 6 is missing. And also one of the games, game number 3, apparently had to be rematched or something because of a DC issue. So we're going to watch as many replays as we can, but just note game 6 will be missing. But I think I know the score at that point, which is a bit of a spoiler for me, but I need to know to complete this set and to cast it. But yeah, just to let you know, there was a load of drama during this set, lag issues. That's why there's no live streamer here and stuff like that. It's just a bit of context as to what's going on. So jumping into game number 2. So yeah, as I was saying about the lag and stuff like that, if you're seeing any poor micro or just random technicals running into terrorists and stuff like that, I'm not saying there is. I haven't seen these replays, but I do know that there was lag issues. So if we see anything dodgy like that, then we know that it could be down to the lag. So a demo mirror here next. Let's check on the cow. Yep, fine, and yep, fine. Still giant cows. We've got 2 supplies for Google. Is going for a more traditional normal build order, and Shaye is going for this crazy fast TNT that we've seen a number of times. We saw actually Shaye lose to Xcal in this very same matchup on Vendetta. Yeah, and Shaye did the more traditional build order like Google is doing now, and Xcal did this fast aggressive war factory. It allows your TNT to get out much quicker. So we've got a tunnel here for Google up on the right hand side, but Shaye is sending a terrorist over there. You're probably wondering how is that terrorist doing the animation with his arms in the air whilst he probably couldn't see it. The reason is he's done a guard mode, so he's guard moded there, and then if he puts his arms in the air, then you basically know something there. It's basically an allowed form of map hack. That's basically what it is. Okay, so right now we have Shaye coming across the map with this very, very fast TNT. Now, if it hits there, he's not going to hit there, actually. What the hell? Is that just a distraction? Well, that was going to be the TNT. Or maybe, is this the TNT? Yeah, this is the TNT. But now the problem is, because there was such a delay, Google should have units out now, but saying that, he doesn't have any units out. TNT is going to be a monster hit. Google could run this over, and he doesn't. He loses his full base. That is a very, very bad start there for Google. He's lost the technical, his arms dealer, and his supply, and he lost a few workers there as well. So this is looking pretty good here for Shaye, as long as he gets a few defensive tunnels up now. He's got a demo trap here in case of a technical tries to run over his workers and stuff like that. But this is looking like it could potentially be another very, very quick game. Google's desperately trying to rebuild that supply as fast as possible. Want to prioritize rebuilding the supply first, get your economy flowing, and then drop down the arms dealer. That's the way to recover from this. You prioritize the supplies first. Arms dealer's going up over here. Technical pushing down the middle here for Google. We've got a technical on the right here for Shaye as well, but it's gone past the one for Google. Google's going to go in the back and probably, try to cause some harassment on the workers. Actually drops off a TNT and does kill the supply. So very, very nice there from Google. Google's only just remade the supply, but it's getting TNT'd again. So very, very action-packed so far with, 3 TNTs in the space of 3 minutes. And all successful as well. No failed TNTs. So the fake arms dealer is established, but he doesn't want to upgrade it to a real yet until probably this is established. So yeah, it's going to remain fake until he's got, 1850, something like that. So he can upgrade it now. You'll see he spent all of his cash. That means he's upgrading it. But now Shaye has too many technicals out for Google to deal with. I mean, what is Google going to do against that? You need some amazing TNT or demo traps. That's one way to recover. But Shaye has brought in the cavalry with loads of RPGs and a couple of workers here. He's building a tunnel. He's applying the pressure to Google now. Google needs to go in super defense mode. So demo traps as well as more tunnels, I would say. Dropping down the barracks there, I don't think is the right idea. I think a demo trap and a tunnel is the right thing. I think a barracks is better over here because that barracks, he's building it so he can build more tunnels because you need the barracks to unlock the tunnels. The problem is that one's so exposed now. Okay, Google is trying to hold. He's got a tech RPG here. Going to pick off one tech at least, but he's not going to finish off this worker in time though. Ooh, he does get the worker on 100% tunnel. Very, very rare to see. I think behind the scenes, it must be a 99.7% tunnel. That must be what it is behind the scenes, because often you see it get stopped on 100%, which is crazy. So yeah, it must go like 99.1, 99.2, 99.3, and then if it goes over 99.5, it must stick on 100%. I reckon that must be what it is. Tunnel going up on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Technical now coming in for Google. Going to pick off a couple of terrorists. I think Google's done well to survive this long, to be fair. Shaye's now on a third supply, though, so his economy is 50% greater. But Google has a supply as well, so the economies are even. How is Google doing this? Yeah, I think I heard Google saying that DoMiNaToR is one of his weaker armies. Or one of his weaker, unpreferred matchups, let's say. Well, TNT here from Shaye. Going to be on this tunnel. Ooh, baby! Wow, might be TNT on the tunnel of the century. Completely annihilates Google's tunnel as he pops, and I think he's going to quit probably right there. Probably a bit of a rage quit. You cannot lose a full tunnel and still expect to win, especially when you were playing catch up anyway. So amazing TNT there from Shaye. Very, very nice indeed. Score goes to 1-1. Okay, so jumping into the next match now. Okay, important note on this one. I didn't realize it happened so early on, but this match was like they played a good 5 or 10 minutes of it, and then they had a disconnection screen where both players counted down. Now, it was a bit controversial in my opinion because Shaye was ahead with the weaker army. Now, I'm not going to go back and cast that replay because I don't want to cast replays that don't count, so I'll tell you what actually did happen. Shaye had a nice start. Shaye secured the bottom right hand side, and Shaye secured the middle with an extra supply there, and he had some forward tunnels here. Google was nice and stable with the GLA Tox, his stealth versus Tox. He had the top left, I believe, and I think he might have had some kind of control here, but Shaye was 2 supplies up, which is these 2 here. And then once that happened, the game disconnected. So that's a big advantage there for Shaye, I think, but now he's forced to go back and replay it. To be honest, if that was me, if I was Shaye, as I said on the forums as well, you probably see me talk about it on the forums, Google tends to be involved in a lot of disconnection issues. His games against Fargo had disconnection issues. His games in the past, like team games and stuff, and I'm not saying it's not Google's fault by any means, is if he can't control his connection, but it definitely isn't Shaye's fault. Well, it could be Shaye's fault, because Shaye is known to have disconnection issues as well. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You don't know whose fault it was, but both players counted down, and if one person has been involved in disconnection issues before, which was Google, then you would anticipate that it might be him again. That's what I'd be thinking. I'd feel hard then too if I was Shaye. But Shaye's going to replay it anyway. He's been the bigger man, and they're going to replay it. He has lost a load of workers here, though, to the first technical. Got a technical here from Shaye. Looking for an oil cap, I believe. You know what was very interesting? In the first game, I believe the reason Shaye got such a big advantage was because he went for the oils. He went for the a big oil cap in the beginning, and I think he got like 2 or 3 of them. But this time, he's not gone for the oils. Google's actually gone for the oils, and Shaye's losing loads of workers. So straight away, this seems like a worse start here than the game we haven't seen. So yeah, I'd be happy with this re so far if I was Google. He does need to get on his own 3rd supply though. He's got a little bit of cash floating there. Google has got some nice control on these bunkers by the oils, which is very, very nice indeed. And he's going to shut down this tunnel here, I think. It's unfortunate there for Shaye. Everything is not really going Shaye's way, apart from he does have the middle, and he's got 1 oil for himself. He's trying to get this oil here. Just brought technical here to pick off the worker. Yeah, going back to what I was saying before, let's say it did disconnect for both players, but it was as a result of Google's like poor connection or whatever. It's not Google's fault that he can't control when he gets disconnected or when the DC menu just freezes, which seems to be the bug that Google faces. But yeah, would it be fair to Shaye if it was nothing to do with his connection, but it was more to do with Google's? Would that have been fair? But you know what? Nothing can be proved whose fault it was or whatever. Just one of those things. Games nowadays tend to be playing on Radmin. And Radmin is showing us a few issues lately where it just disconnects for both players. So maybe it's something to do with that. Now, big fight here. But this bunker here is going to help out Google. Very much so. Because now he's probably going to be able to get a super tech. Big pop here from Shaye. And he is managing to clear that tunnel. He's taking a bit of a beating here from the Scorpions. No palace drop down yet, and no workers replenished here. Another supply drop down by Google. Another supply drop down by Shaye. He's got a rebel here. The super tech going to chip away at this supply. One of Shaye's oils will go down. That one there for Google has gone down. So currently Google's on 2 oils and Shaye's on an extra 2 supplies in the middle. It's quite samey-ish to how it was in the game that got disbanded. Disbanded. But I think Google's in a stronger position. And I think Shaye's at risk of losing this area. There's a hell of a lot of Scorpions here for Google. Continuing the push, and this tunnel falls. The second war factory going up for Shaye is a fake. Yeah, fake arms dealer. And then we've got the super tech here. Going to probably be hijacked by this hijacker. Very, very nice there. Definitely take a super tech because it could help you defend against all these scorpions. Of course, it won't take them on in a head-on engagement. When they fired their rocket, you can come in and pick one off and then go back. Keep going in and out. But yeah, Shaye is looking in a bad, bad way. Okay, big scorpion push here, and a load of scorpions going down at the front. Super tech comes in to help. Let's take a couple of shots since we're going very, very low. There is a hijacker here. The quads are going to be scared away for the time being. Hijacker, I think, wants to get this vetted scorpion. It would be nice. It does go down very quick and actually gives XP to Google. Google's building a palace. Palace going in for Shaye as well. Yeah, so currently Google's on 2 extra oils, but Shaye's still on 2 extra supplies. So for now, economically, you would say Shaye is ahead. You'd prefer 2 supplies rather than 2 oils for now, but in the long run, obviously, supplies dry up and oils don't. This wolf factory are going to take a bit of a beating. The scorpions are going to have to face off against these quads and RPGs, and so far the scorpions are going to be repelled, yeah, by Shaye. Very, very nice, but he's got another attack here. I think it'd be important for Shaye to get back inside of that little windmill thing. Yeah, definitely too slow getting that windmill and getting a worker there to repair it. He still might be able to hold, but it's going to be a lot harder now because his RPGs have been picked up before they've been able to get in. Scorpions continue the push, and the quads and the RPGs continue to hold. Very, very even battles so far, I think. Palace is almost finished. Palace is finished for Google, and he's building his first market. But if Shaye gets cleared out of this area, then that is going to be very, very bad news for him. I think he needs to drop down like another 2 or 3 tunnels there. He really needs to hold this area. But if Google gets inside of that windmill, yeah, with the scorpions there, that's going to be very, very hard to hold. He's only got 1 fully existing tunnel now. Another supply here being dropped down by Shaye. Could stealth that so it's protected a little bit, but he's not collecting on his workers there at all. They're actually stopped. And he's about to lose this one, and Google has the Anthrax Gamma upgrade now, which makes the scorpions and the tunnels and the RPGs all stronger. So Google is slowly clearing up. Shaye still collecting from the middle though. CC being placed down. 2 markets now for Google. There's Jean and Kel out for Google. It does get shot down by the quads though. Oh, we do have an observer now. Zayuri. This must... that's why. So this wasn't played on the 18th like the rest of the replays. This was played on the 24th because it was a re of the original game that was played on the 18th, if that makes sense. That's why there's a streamer now. Okay, so Google continuing the onslaught. He's here with his scorpions, here with his buggies. And this supply is going to fall. Google can get even more veterancy. Level 2 or 3 ambush there. Very, very nice indeed. Decimates the whole army, really. And Shaye is in big danger now because if he loses any more ground, he's at risk of losing his main base, and he's going to have to migrate and move house effectively. This is his base. He's on top of the production now, Google. And Shaye throws in the towel, GG. So yeah, I mean, in the first game when they did that, I think like Shaye was about 70-30 ahead, maybe 80-20, something like that, because he was ahead in terms of supplies. He had his oils from the beginning. It was ahead in Palace Tech and stuff like that. But in that rematch, as we've seen before in rematches, anything can change. It's the same two players, the same map, the same two armies, but yeah, a completely different outcome to what the first game was. And we saw that when Google played against Fargo as well. So it just shows you, just anything can happen. If those players played that same map and matchup again, would Shaye then win? Well, I think he's got a very good chance. He could then win. So yeah, it just shows you with a rematch, anything absolutely can happen. So it does change sets completely. Honestly, rematches do. Okay, so jumping on to the next one. Okay, so in the reverse, now this has actually gone back in time. So this one was played on the 18th of June, whereas that one we just watched was played on the 24th of June. I know it's weird, it's all ridiculous and whatever because of disconnections and whatever, but yeah, just to give you some context, this game was actually played back in time. We got Shaye with the GLA Tox in the green and top right of the map. Down in the bottom left, we've got Google with the red GLA Stealth. So we've got Shaye going for this quite new build order that a lot of players are doing nowadays. Well, they're going for 3 supplies and then 2 arms dealers as the GLA. The only problem is, remember why I made did I make a pro tip about how to box your GLA supplies? And I said what you don't want to do is block that bit. You don't want to block any of the surface area on this bit because it hinders the collection process. So you're probably better off doing those facing outwards. So you do it like that way. So you can do it at a diagonal position like there. And then it won't hinder your collection rate. It looks kind of okay anyway, but he does only have 4 workers, so it's not as good as it could be. Okay, Google loses his first worker there. Other technical going over here. I think he's looking for an oil cap. But Google, meanwhile, has just gone for 2 supplies. And already not collecting on one of them, and he's only got 4 workers on his main. So yeah, Google's going to be playing catch up. Meanwhile, Shaye is completely collecting on 3 supplies, although he does only have 4 workers as well. Dropping down a tunnel here. Huge army of technicals out for Shaye now, and I think Google's army here is going to die. Shaye's targeting the strong one first, and targets the second, takes him down, and the RPGs inside of there go down as well. Google now is going to have to face off against this, and this is going to cause him all kinds of problems because he's going to deny all of his map control. He's not going to be able to get his oils, which is what he's going for right now. He does have a tunnel over here, and he does have a tunnel in the middle, but anytime he sends his workers or his technicals out or anything out, these technicals are going to be able to just run around and pick it off. Even stray quads, even like 3 quads by himself will still go down to this big army. So yeah, having that mobility in the beginning is very, very decent indeed. Okay, worker dropped off by Google in the mid. He's going to drop down that middle supply, but the technicals here for Shaye are still roaming around. He's got some RPGs inside of there as well. Let's pick off the first technical. One oil will be captured. 2 oils captured by Google. A big Scorpion push here from Shaye. I think this is just going to outright kill Google, to be honest, because what can he possibly do against that? Like, maybe just the Scorpions. Maybe you could handle that with, like, some hijackers and RPGs, but the Scorpions and a massive army attacks, he's going to have a real hard time, trust me, in dealing with that. He's dropping down another supply in the mid. I think right now, Shaye can just continue the push. Every second you waste here, it's giving Google more and more chance, because that palace is getting up. He could drop down more tunnels. I don't know why Shaye just doesn't continue the push, or maybe it's because of this. At least, like, go in with these Scorpions now. Yeah, I don't understand why he's taking the pressure off there, because he had the advantage. Okay, he's sending his tentacles over here instead to pick off these. Google not paying attention right now, and does lose one tactical. Big quad pop, though, from Google. But again, though, these Scorpions just sitting here. Yes, he's got a few quads, but Scorpions just wreck quads all day long, so I don't understand why he is waiting around. Now the problem is when you fight now, there's going to be a demo trap and there's going to be a palace. It's going to be a lot harder of a fight to take. Refinery now captured by Shaye. Palace going up for Shaye. Yeah, that demo trap could be painful, you know. Oh, it takes out 3 Scorpions. Very, very painful. But the problem is for Google, there's so many more Scorpions. Hijacks 1 Scorpion himself. It's going to take probably another one here. Yeah, it does take out another one. There's still so many units. A lot of RPGs brought here by Shaye as well. And this is a huge engagement. Very, very important. If Google loses this fight, he's also going to lose his base, just like we saw in a previous replay. And it looks like somehow he is holding with this massive amount of quads that he's got. He's got some veterancy on him as well. They are mincing through those Scorpions. Google now expanded to a supply down in the bottom right. Artillery platform here from Shaye from distance, taking out this little tower, I think. And the first few buggies are out now, so this is where it becomes more difficult for Shaye. I still think he's in a good position, but I just don't understand why he took the pressure off when he had that big army there before. He could have pushed in and there was no palace. Palace would have have been cancelled, but now the palace is up. He just made it like 20 times harder for himself, because now the buggies are cheaper for Google than Shaye. Shaye isn't on palace himself, and he's dropping down 2 markets. John McKellar's out and in action. Takes out 1 RPG, snipes 1 tank. There's a few buggies here for Shaye as well. Bit of a sneaky worker here from Google, but Google is now losing the middle. All of his workers there have been run over. This tunnel has gone down. Buggies here come in for Shaye from the side and actually take out just 1 buggy, actually. It looked more impactful than that actually was. And took out 1 buggy. But Google has a load of buggies out now. A real load of buggies. But he is going to be low on cash, or lower than cash. Lower on cash than Shaye very soon, because yeah, now he's lost the middle. Buggies here continue the damage output on the Scorpions. I think Shaye, when he gets level 3, he will be happy to get the Rebel Ambush, because that will really help against these buggies. Google's trying to establish a tunnel by that oil, but Shaye's having none of it. He uses RPGs to clear that up, and Shaye is collecting from this supply, remember? So he's on quite a few extra supplies now, I would say. That's one extra than Google there, but Google's -1 because that's supposed to be his as well. It's a difference of 2, and Shaye's now going to take over the middle as well. So Google's going to have to be super cost efficient with these buggies, not just trading off 1 for 1. No, but it needs to be like a 2 to 1 kill death ratio, something like that. He's got a Scud Storm going up. He's got a few markets here and there as well, but Shaye likewise has markets, and I think it's actually probably more than Google does. Google doesn't have the refinery, whereas Shaye does. Tech turret there from Shaye. He's completely forgotten about and goes down, but these Scorpions now taking out the buggies because the buggy's getting a little bit too close there. And now suddenly Google's buggy count has been completely reset. He has no more buggies. He's on 3 arms dealers, so he should be able to get the numbers up again pretty quick. But remember, he doesn't have the refinery, so all of them are not getting the 10% discount. He's only collected on 3 workers there, 4 workers there. That one's actually about to dry up anyway. He's only collected on 4 workers over here as well. So yeah, I think soon Shaye's economy is really going to shine through. You're already seeing that really with the amount of markets that he's got. Google does have 2 oils though. Shaye has 2 as well. I think people often look at this map and see this line down the middle, this light brown line, and think that's the dividing line. But actually, I do think it's more of a top versus bottom map, because I think this oil here is probably easier to get to than this for this top right player. Maybe. Technical continues to push into the base here for Google. Going to try and pick off some workers, but I mean, they're not really collecting anymore anyway. Few crates left. First Scud Storm is out. Buggies once again going a little bit too close to the action. But the problem is on this terrain, sometimes they do just go a little bit too close. And these towers have got quite a crazy range as well. Okay, Toxin tried to clear out the bunker there for Google. Let's go down to the artillery platform. Shaye might be feeling a little bit of pressure. He might not want to take the Scud Storm to the face. But the problem is the map's so big, though, that Google will struggle to get a really decent target, because everything seems pretty spread out. I suppose the production on the palace is probably one of the best shots, or maybe one if the oils. But there's no one single spot where you're going to kill absolutely loads of stuff, especially when the GLA has got the fortified structure. You just look at Google's map control now, he's really losing map control. Shaye has the whole top of the map and most of the mid, or all of the mid. Shaye going a little bit too close to this tower there, but I don't think he cares. He just wants to completely take over this area. Is he just going to kill the oil, or is he going to try to capture it? A big buggy war again, but I think because Shaye's got the bigger numbers here, it's kind of snowballing, and every time Google takes the fight, he's losing more buggies than he's actually killing. So yeah, more and more land is being lost here for Google. This tower, or this windmill rather, is now going to go down. Shaye continuing the aggression. More and more buggies falling here. For both players, really, but I just feel like Google's a little bit thin on the grounds in terms of units. It's really having to go into survival mode here. And when Shaye gets level 5, that Tox Bomb is going to last for ages on top of your production. It's going to be hard to defend. That said, though, there is a Scud Storm ready to fire in 135. And Google, for once, now has the buggy numbers advantage. He survived there with 2, whereas Shaye had none. Shaye's bringing in 1 more with some more Scorpions. Google very close to level 5, just needs 1 more kill, and he will be level 5. Shaye very close as well. I think sneak attack here could be very, very good. Nice little sneaky tunnel here from Google. Straight in the middle of the base. That's a very, very... Oh, it's actually a GPS scrambled. GPS scrambled tunnel. So Shaye has no idea that's there. Actually another one here from Google as well. And Google is managing to hold. Google only on like 6 markets though I can count. And an oil. 7 markets. Anthrax Bomb dropped off in the middle, kills a load of workers, but not a lot else. Now we've got multiple attacks from Google. He's got a sneaky tunnel here, a sneak attack here, and he's got a big pop here. So very, very well played from Google. And he's got his Scud Storm ready to fire soon. I just worry for Google that he's running out of cash. 6 markets against like 20. You can't last very long no matter how good your aggression is. Yeah, so his attack there was pretty nice, but it does all get cleared up. Shaye is building a... Sorry, Google is building another sneaky tunnel over here this time. He's got his Scud Storm ready to fire, Google has. That tunnel goes down, that tunnel goes down, but another one's going to be placed down, and this one placed down as well. Now, Anthrax Bomb on top of the production, that's going to take an absolute age to clear. Google's also losing his barracks, and we can now see... Where is that Scud Storm firing? And the Scud Storm is going to hit... Well, was that another 2 or 3 arms dealers when he already had 3? Shaye's just on so much cash, he literally probably doesn't care so much. Google continuing the push here, dropping down more and more tunnels, being a true Gillet stealth general, building tunnels, invisible tunnels with invisible workers. Very, very powerful. The problem is, as soon as Shaye goes over there, his Scorpions are so powerful that he can just kind of go head first into it and just clear it all up. We've got another attack going over here now. GPS scrambled his army as well, trying to take down these markets. Another market going up there for Google. Problem is for Google, though, that his tunnels are all slowly getting cleared up. He probably needs to pause this one for a bit. Because if that finishes now, I'm pretty sure it'll just get shot down straight away by this army that's here. Because now those RPGs there are revealed, and I think Shaye will have seen it. Yeah, I think so now. It's going to keep him busy at least, I suppose. That's probably what you want, because he's... Look at how many arms that he's dropping down. There's like... There's going to be 3 there. Another tunnel being built here by Google, and another one here. So yeah, Google's pretty adamant on building these workers. It's like kind of having it's like having a disease or something, isn't it? And you think you've cleared the disease up, you think you've cured it, and then lo and behold, it appears somewhere else. That's kind of what it feels like. Like he's got fleas or something, because these flea nests keep popping up inside of your base. And here's another one as well. They just keep popping up everywhere. It's like whack-a-mole. Whack them all here, and you got to whack them all over here. He is killing the markets, though, Google is. He is killing the markets. Huge engagement here, but yeah, Google unfortunately not able to get anything done. It all comes down to the firepower of these Scorpions. Shaye now moving in on this bottom right-hand side. Google desperately trying to hang in there. If we just look at his map control still, he doesn't have very much map control at all. It's all down to them sneaky tunnels and stuff like that. But oh, Rebel ambush used there on top of the army, and that's probably the army completely reset there for Google. Might even be him out because he has no army at the moment at all, and he's losing even more and more ground, and he can't afford to lose any more ground. He does have another Scud Storm. He's lost the whole area of here. Yeah, he loses that whole area. Now he's losing his main base. Shaye just relentless with this pressure. Even though there's a few Scud Storms ready to fire, I mean, what do? You could fire it here and just delay the inevitable. You could fire it in there and just delay the inevitable. You could hit the economy, but then you'll probably die here. I mean, it's alright having Scud Storms, but when you literally got a massive army in your base, it's kind of hard to say what is the best thing to do. He's going to fire now if he wants to. Does he have a choice but to use it here? Where was that going? I don't know if it was going on one of the oils, but then he decided just to quit. Yeah, like I said, it just doesn't matter. If you're about to lose your main base, you can either use the Scud there. Whoa, look at the cash difference. You can either use the Scud there and delay the inevitable. You can hit the economy, but then you'll die. It's kind of hard to say what to do with the Scuds. So yeah, we'll play dead to Shaye. 2-2 is the score. Okay, so jumping into game number 5. Now, as I said before, game number 6 was missing, so I'm guessing it's the reverse of this that we are missing, which is a shame. But yeah, like I said, I've had to spoil the middle result for myself, the middle of the set results, so that I can update the score accordingly and let you know what happened. I've never seen the game or the replay, but I happen to know the score after these next 2 matches. So I'll try not to say anything. We've got a barracks place down here from Shaye. That's very interesting there from Shaye. I'm thinking the reason he did that is he probably scanned it, placed the barracks, and then you maintain the vision whilst your scaffold is there. So if a worker then goes past, you would see it. But I think that comes under scaffold abuse. You're only supposed to place on a scaffold unless you're trying to survive in the game, or if you intend on actually building the barracks. Yeah, so it would be classed as abuse. So I mean, yeah, technically this has to be replayed now. As if they need any more replays. Okay, Firebase going in for Shaye on this left-hand side. First V is out, second V is out, first few technicals are out as well. What is this one though? Going to be TNT? The power gets TNT'd, but it's alright hitting the power, but you need to actually kill key buildings, which is like... Ooh, he's going for the dozer. A bit of a slow TNT there, but he does get it. Does get the dozer, which is still kind of okay. But in terms of real damage, what you've done, you've not slowed down his economy, and you've only slowed down his production a little bit because you took down the power. So yeah, going for the supplies and going for the war factories is definitely the primary target. The power is like If you can't hit anything else, then yeah, go for the power, but I prefer to hit the supplies or the war factory. Okay, a couple of rangers here go down. There's a few Vs out now, but only 3 technicals so far from Google. Another technical here now from Google. 3 more down the mid as well. I think those are the distraction, and this one is the real TNT. It's going to get laser locked, but I don't think it makes any difference. He's going to come in with the terrorist. Needs to be careful with the Vs, Shaye. A little bit close there. Terrorists do get it. I think Google's pretty lucky there because his distraction was later than the real thing. So I think he's actually even lucky that even hit, and he kind of messed it up as well. The terrorists were kind of all over the place. So these V's now moving across the map, and this tunnel now is in danger. Yeah, Google in a little bit of trouble here, and this is not a place you want to be against the super weapon general. You're imagining Tox should be able to win here with relative ease. Okay, a few more tunnels going up for Google and his base, going into a little bit of a survival mode. He is going for the oils. TNT on the 5 base, very, very nice indeed. And the Tech RPG. It's going to harass the Chinooks and force Shaye to go and engage over there. Google, I think, needs a second arms dealer. He's floating a bit of cash, and now he's got the 2 oils. He's on a lot of cash. Picks off a V there for free. I think he'll be glad to take that one. But yeah, I think Shaye maybe should have attacked when he was looking pretty strong on this right hand side. I think now he's waited a bit, allowed Google to get the oils, allowed him to harass and kill the firebase and stuff like that. I think Shaye's looking in a weaker position now. The counter attack here from Google as Shaye moves out on this right hand side. Is Shaye going to go back to defend this, or is he just going to leave it? Like RPG, he's going to harass the supplies. Shaye now going to move in. He's going to move in around these tunnels though, but there is another 2 here. Palace is now being built. Google coming in from the back with the technicals, but there's so many Vs here. TNT once again. Technicals moving from the back, and 2 Vs have gone down actually. So that TNT split up the Vs a little bit, didn't it? It forced them north a little bit, and then Google was able to come in and pick them off. A couple of RPGs here, and 1 V again is going to go down. Again, I don't know if this is lag or just bad micro there from Shaye. He's under a lot of pressure as well with the weaker army here. The technicals now going to surround these armies. 2 Vs go down, 3 Vs go down. Google's still focusing down the Vs. Another V goes down. Technicals come in, get the crush on some missile defenders. But the 1 V, 1 ambulance, and 5 MDs, or 6 MDs, do survive. There's another one back here, actually. But yeah, I just think Google is in such a much better position. He's now on a palace. He can get Jarman out as well to help clear this up. I mean, even 1 Jarman can just clear up that by himself. Technicals now moving in. And Tech RPG, actually, and it's going to kill the V. Ah, that's bad news for Shaye. I was just clicking back on his base to make sure he's not going to quit, just to see if all of his stuff blows up or not, because after losing that massive attack there, sometimes you feel like, can I still win now? Okay, technicals again on this left-hand side do drop off 2 more RPGs. Shaye entering the base once again through the same path. He's dropping down a strap behind this as well. These are moving in. I think that's a real market, by the way. I always suggest to people to build a fake market initially. So it's less of an investment. You've got more money in your bank where you can build stuff and you can upgrade it to a real one later on. These buggies do need to be careful because, again, awfully close to these Vs and missile defenders. Do survive, though. One technical goes down. Search and destroy is deployed. Technicals come back in, and another couple of Vs are going down, as well as the ambulance as well. Vs moving back. Buggies and more technicals coming in, though. And, yeah, I just feel like Shaye might have lost a little bit too much. He's got 2 missile defenders to his name, and that is that. Now, with that said, it is a stronger army with the GLA Tox, so Google was expected to win there. And spoiler alert, because we're going to miss the next match, they did do the reverse, and Google managed to win also with the USA. So the score goes to 4-2. But here you'll notice I update the score to 3-3. That's because this is a mistake, and I'm having to re-edit this and re-edit what I've said. So actually, the score here is 4-2. But throughout this set now, it's going to be wrong. So we need to +1 on Google's score and -1 on Shaye's score. So then moving on to game number 7. Obviously, we skipped number 6 and not GLA. GLA? Was I going to say GLA? This is Google, not GLA. He is Google, and he is with the Super Weapon General in the top left of the map in the green. For Shaye, down in the bottom right, we have Air Force with the blue. Could say this is never 1-1 matchup. That's the thing about random reverse. Get an imbalanced matchup, you are expecting it to go 1-1, and air against super weapon, you're expecting that. That's for sure. Shaye's dropping down 2 barracks. Couple of missile defenders, one to defend the drop into his base. Google's also gone for 2 barracks. Going for a huge drop of his own. He's got 1 ranger to chill and guard in his base, but there's no drop from Shaye. Shaye is just purely in defense mode. Okay, big drop here from Google. V too far away to Laserlock just yet, but now they're going to close in on this war factory. And Laserlock comes in on the V, but the V moves behind the barracks. Got flashbangs here now from Google. No capture upgrade yet from Google. Shaye's now in a little bit of trouble. If he makes a V from there now, it's going to get Laserlocked straight away. And meanwhile, these flashbang rangers seem to be doing damage over the top of these barracks. Shaye's making a lot of rangers to counter this. Laserlock comes in on the Chinook, and I think that's 1 Chinook. They're going to go down. It is going to go down. Very, very nicely played there from Google. You can hear 1 oil being captured. 2 oils being captured by Shaye. So that's the difference. Shaye has gone for the capture upgrade, whereas Google has gone for the flashbangs. But the Rangers are going to be able to clear this up eventually. And Shaye could use this dozer here to get the crush. And Google could laserlock this Chinook. And he does, actually. So yeah, Shaye's in a bad way, actually. Losing 2 Chinooks. He did get 3 oils, though. It's looking like he will get 3 oils. But yeah, losing 2 Chinooks early on against Super Weapon Generals, not something you want to be doing. War Factory are now taking damage. Wonder if Google will even get that in time. I don't think he's going to do, you know. So yeah, whilst his drop there was pretty good, it just shows you that it needs to be more than pretty good. It needs to be absolutely relentless of pressure if you're going to kill the USA very, very quick. Never mind an Air Force. And this production here from Google now is going to get camped. I think Shaye going for them 3 oils is more than paid for itself now, because he's able to rebuild the Chinooks. And he's in a very, very strong position. Yeah, Google behind this has gone for no oils, no nothing. And Google has been defeated. Yes, a stronger army won. That's a shame about random reverse sometimes. You get an imbalanced matchup and just the overpowered army just wins. Okay, so jumping into the reverse, then we've got Google now down in the bottom right with the Cyan USA Air Force. Up in the top left, we've got Super Weapon for Shaye, and he is playing with the blue color. barracks first from Google. I'm expecting barracks first from both players both times, to be honest, because you need them infantry out. Whether you're going to defend against the drop or whether you're going to go for an oil capture or something, or a drop of your own, you need that barracks out first. So you build the power, then you build the barracks. So we're going to have a drop here from Google. Just going to be 3 MDs, and then behind this he's going for a couple of Rangers. We have an EMP drop down inside of Shaye's base, but there is a drone right there, so I'm pretty sure Google knows about it. Unless he just flies into it anyway. He is going pretty close. Okay, so he's going to drop his MDs over here. EMP shuts down the drone. Drone does go down, but his MDs from around the back now will have to be defended by these Rangers. And the Rangers are heading in the right direction, but this Chinook's probably still going to take some damage if he goes back to drop off some supplies. He moves out of the way though. Big drop here from Shaye, similar to the previous game actually. Okay, lays lock on the Chinooks. Chinook is going to survive. He could capture this stuff because he does have the capture upgrade. One dose there has been picked off. Lays lock on the V, but there's a few Rangers here from Google that will help defend against this capture. One Chinook there is going to go down. Those Chinooks brought back a little bit prematurely and he's paid the price. Even going to lose some HP on the second one as well. Maybe even lose it. Gone low, and that's not good news there for Shaye. Don't want to bring them back. Never rush into things and rush the Chinooks back just because you think you'll collect like an extra $100 faster or something like that. It's not worth losing the one Chinook and then losing the HP on the second one. It's not worth it at all. Okay, Shaye's been defeated, a little bit anticlimactic there, but so yeah, 4-4 is the score, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, jumping into the next game, we've got Google down in the south of Cold Territory. He's playing with the Gilly Demolition. In the red color up in the north, we've got Super Weapon General for Shaye with the blue. Potentially looking at another 1-1 matchup here because we're anticipating Demo to win. Both sides, the random reverse. However, as we saw in a previous game with Google's lack of aggression, he did face a bit of adversity at times when he had that big V army knocking at his door multiple times on Arctic Lagoon. So let's see if he's able to keep that aggression up long enough this time so that the V numbers don't get up all that much. So 2 supplies for Shaye, sending his right dozer forward to try and get a crush. He might be lucky enough to get over here and get the crush, but he's actually decided to turn around and save his dozer, because even though you might kill that worker, then the first technical might drop off some RPGs or a terrorist and still kill that dozer anyway. But at least then you would know the first direction that the first technical is headed in. That's what you'd know. So Shaye's decided to lay his barracks, get his first V out. Barracks is now going up. A fire base has already been established on this right hand side. A couple of RPGs here from Google. I'm going to go inside of these buildings. And Shaye will pick it off. What I noticed about a lot of people in their RPGs, they tend to be putting them inside of bunkers here, inside of bunkers here, inside of bunkers here. And whilst that's all well and good, I also think it's good just to put all your RPGs inside your tunnel and do a big tech RPG push. Because the enemy, if he's like even remotely intelligent, he's not going to go running into bunkers. So unless you're playing super defensive and just want to hold on with the bunkers, then actually I think bringing more RPGs in with your attacks, like now for example, is actually not a bad idea. Okay, next technical here from Google. It's going to drop off it right outside the supply, and the supply goes down, and he's harassing this one. So straight away here, the harassment and the attacks here from Google been far better than in the previous game when we saw Tox versus Super Weapon, that is for sure. Google's now going to continue the harassment here, bringing his RPGs forward a little bit. Get a few shots off on this Chinook, making it a little bit low. Now sending his technical back. This building here has gone down to the firebase. RPG gets cleared up, but the technical does survive. A third supply there going up for Google. Google continuing his technical spam in his base. It's got a demo trap here just in case Shaye does make his way through. And again, these RPGs here are useful for defense, but I also think they're more useful inside of the tunnel, doing more bigger attacks. TNT here on the firebase. Google's TNT so far have been well on point. Third supply now in play. I think a couple more tunnels here would be nice, or at least creeping forward of the tunnels and try another tunnel over here. Middle tunnel there for Google is going to go down. This dozer might get picked off. That is the second dozer. The first one's still being over here, so that one's fine to go down. This tunnel's not been completely finished yet, but I think that ranger might just be able to finish it. Got another ranger here as well to help out if he needs to be. Shaye now collecting from the middle. He's got an extra Chinook. He's got 5 Chinooks in total. And he has kind of stabilized. Terror tech here from Google. And his terrorists are not quite as quick as some other players that we're seeing. It is hard to do them quick. I think you have to have them control groups if you're going to do them super quick. And also have the retaliation mode on as well, because then when they get shot, they actually start attacking the target straight away. Okay, big technical push here from Google, but there's quite a high number of Vs out, just like in the previous game we saw. Tech RPG once again is going to put some harassment on these Chinooks. He could just move all the Chinooks to the middle and start collecting from the middle instead. And just use this time now to push across the map with the Vs, because the longer you wait now, the more chance you're giving Google, because he's getting his palace up. He's already on a third supply and he's been on it for a while now. This technical here is eventually going to be cleared up. So nice play there from Shaye. Nice crushes, very nice crushes. Kills 5 MDs there. Technical is now vet 3. They might even be able to cause quite a lot of damage to this V here as well. There is a big push going across the map though. It's now coming around the back. Ooh, demo bike. Wants to come in pairs though with the demo bikes, I feel. Technical's here for defense. Needs to be careful though, because against these Vs he still could lose a few. Demo bike now moving in, and he evacs some missile defenders, and a few missile defenders there at the front do go down.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Yeah, Shaye's on a bit of a time limit now, because as soon as a few demo bikes get in their numbers and just head straight into this, it could be very bad news for him indeed. One demo bike coming in here is going to pick off 1V. That bunker there going to be secured by Shaye. Shaye's putting on pressure on these tunnels. First tunnel there does fall, but Demo Jarman is here as well. There are drones, so he can't sneak up on this army, but if there weren't any drones, you could sneak up, press I, and that whole army could die. Just as if it was like a demo bike or a terrorist or anything like that. He's going to move into the army. Ooh, he doesn't press I though. Even though the Vs do walk onto it. He could have killed like probably 2 or 3 Vs there with Jarman. Does snipe 1. It would have been better to press I feel. Do the detonation. The supply is going to go down. Google probably wants to get on 2 arms dealers because he had a decent economy. I think just start building markets straight away is unnecessary because he had the oil as well. Would have preferred the second arms dealer, I think. 2 demo bikes here though might get an amazing hit. Ooh, only kills 1 ambulance. A bit confused about that. Search and destroy now initiated though, and these Vs are going to have an easier time against the tunnels and the technicals. These Chinooks are very, very low indeed. Okay, then we're back. Attack from Google now in the main base. War factory there is going to go down. Dozer's been put inside of the Chinook for now. I think that's his last one. Yeah, it is, because we saw the other one die earlier. Over here somewhere. Colonel Burton is now out. I think if Shaye can get a few EMPs up, that could be very nice. Could be very nice. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That was a decent attack and bad news there for Shaye. Power plant went down and 3 Vs. Spectre gunship here on the main base. The supply and the arms dealer probably going to go down. Google is on the worker's shoes, so he's collecting at 10% the extra rate. Demo Jarman here. He's not going to press I once again. He's missing a trick there. Going to burn plants a bomb in there. A little bit of a risk because he could have planted a booby trap. Rebel gets cleaned up. Single demo bikes by themselves are going to have a lot harder of a time than like in pairs, for example. He still might kill the Burton though. He's going to be close. Ooh. Okay, demo bike kills the burn. Very, very good. There's no ambulance with these Vs. They're going to have a harder time re-healing. Vetted ones will still heal. 1 V there at the front is probably going to go down. Yeah, it does go down. And Google is now level 3, so if he builds a CC, he can do Demo Rebel Ambush. He's now dropping down the CC, and Demo Rebel Ambush could just wreck Shaye in 1 click. So Shaye, yeah, feels on a bit of a time limit, but Google is not looking in the greatest of shapes. He keeps sending in 1 demo bike at a time. A nice battle bus attack there around the back has killed them 2 weak Chinooks. Got himself some extra XP. It's forced the sale of that supply as well. Strategy center still in play, and yeah, Shaye's going to be out of cash on his mains soon. Only 11k left, and he's already mined out pretty much of this right one. He's got $1,200 left there. Google's still collecting from the middle for now. Google's still got about 11k left on his main too. Supply's pretty even, but Google's collecting from a third. I suppose Shaye is actually as well from the mid now. He's got an EMP there up as well. A10 moving in. It's going to be on this tunnel here, so these Vs are not going to be able to... sorry, the buggy's not going to be able to retreat back inside of the tunnel. The tunnel is taken down. Shaye's taking big damage here. A couple of Vs there picked off by the buggies. And Google's realised the demo bikes by themselves are not working out completely, but he does have a CC now, so Demo Rebel Ambush could just be clicked on top of those Vs and kill it. I'm pretty sure he's got the Demo Rebel Ambush ready to go. So as soon as he sees them Vs and they just stop for even a second, I think they are doomed. There's a Pathfinder here, but that's going to get run over as well. Google does have some bounty as well. Going to continue the push over here. He's got the Rebel Ambush ready to click, and as soon as he sees them Vs, it's going to be ready. Supplies going down here. There's Demo Rebel Ambush, but it's complete failure, really. It doesn't kill the whole army. Well, it doesn't, not a complete failure, but it only kills half the army. You would expect to kill the whole thing there, but again, it comes back down to this lag issue thing. Is there lag or whatever? He still kills pretty much the entire army in the end. 1V does survive. He picked off the ambulance there with his buggies, but yeah, you would expect to kill that entire army. But yeah, you don't know if it's due to the lag or whatever. Got an airfield up for Shaye. We can continue in the push into the main base. More and more Vs going down. There is a Colonel Burton here, so you expect these are going to go down. John McKell has been revealed. He'll be useful for defending against this Colonel Burton. No Pathfinder here. Which, if that Pathfinder was still there from before, he would reveal and kill the Jarman. Another supply going up for Shaye here on this left-hand side. Google doesn't have very much himself. I feel like it's still kind of an even game. Shaye's actually ahead in terms of the XP. He's level 4, whereas Google's still level 3. And Aurora is now out. And that is used on top of the army and kills the quad cannon there as well. And a buggy, or 2 buggies even. And they've sniped the Jean Kell as well. So yeah, Google looking a bit fragile as well, actually. Both players not very much stuff out. Quad's moving on his left-hand side and take out that Chinook. But Demo Bike now moving in. Is that going to kill the Strat? I think it does, you know. Or is he just going to go straight for... He's going for the power. And the barracks. Yeah, that's a pretty nice attack. Aurora still in action, though. Kills one buggy. Kills the Pathfinder as well, though. Poor guy. There was one guy that was not expecting to be blasted to the outer stratosphere. It was probably the Pathfinder. Buggy round the back, though, so if that lands, I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to be taken out. So I think Google has played this right, really. It's not been engaging into the EMPs. He continually attacked on the weak side. And this buggy's still moving around. Quad's here trying to take out the War Factory. This buggy continues moving. He's going to find this dozer. Is he upgrading to the cold fusion thing? V survives on very, very low HP. Google could be collecting with this extra idle worker here. It's going to be mined out on his main soon. So Google's just pumped all of his money into units, quads and buggies at the moment. Realizes Shaye is weak. Now is not the time to be dropping down markets and stuff like that. Now is the time to actually kill your opponent before it drags out any longer and you give Super Weapon any more of a chance. There is a Spectre on the only market there of Google, and that's the thing. If you start making markets, that's exactly what will happen. The Spectre will just continually chip away at them until you have nothing left. Very, very decent game, to be fair, between Demo and the Super Weapon. I think Shaye even knows Google is not in the strongest of position. It's just, I mean, just say just this army. It's quite a big army, but it is literally just that. Google doesn't have very much behind it. It's got Demorable Ambush probably soon as well, though. And yeah, Shaye doesn't have much himself. The quad's here getting all the kills on these MDs. Google doesn't have the AP ammo, but there's some veterancy and some scrap here. Demorable Ambush on top of the barracks there kills the V there as well. I think that V there is empty. He is trying to kill what he can, and yeah, one more quad there is going to go down. What will this quad get then? This quad's going to go down there as well, so that's very, very well handled there. But there's now 4 demo bikes coming in from Google. This is very, very like war of attrition, like who's going to run out of money first kind of thing. That strategy then it gets completely wrecked, and demo bike moves in. Oh, that's probably the killing blow. You couldn't lose them 2 Vs at this point. Google's collecting from the middle, so Shaye actually, but the Rangers there are actually clearing this up. I feel like if it didn't hit them 2 Vs there, he probably would have still an okay chance, because Google doesn't have very much at all. John McKell here just wrecking everything. I feel like we're moments away. Shaye doesn't really have any units out that can combat anything at the moment. Even Dozer here is going to get sniped. Google could get power if he really wants to, but he hasn't really got the economy, so I don't think he needs to take the power. Jarman's just happy to like, ooh, baby. 2 shots to kill the Jarman, apparently. He's vet 2. Got a demo bike here, and what's that going to hit? It's the power, but doesn't kill it. Quad's now moving in. Laser locks are on point. We're down to the last couple of units. We really are. Shaye's still collecting, and Google's thrown everything at Shaye. This is really like Google's ran out of money. Anthrax bomb on top of Shaye here. I think Shaye can still do it. Sneak attack right in front of an EMP though. Not even opening his front door. The Anthrax bomb didn't really kill anything because all of this stuff here survived. Google's got 3 quads. You can start selling some of these tunnels in your base. Maybe even sell the palace. Maybe even 1 tunnel here just to get every little penny out now, because you're at risk of losing the game unless you can squeeze just a couple more units out, I feel. I think if he camps the supplies with a quad each or something like that, he could still win. But yeah, at the moment, Shaye's got these 2 supplies. He could drop off his supplies back here. Remember, Shaye's level 5 as well, so he's got decent support powers. Search and ensure he did get killed. V is out, but it's going to run a bit into the Anthrax. Laser lock again on point. The quad's going to what? Try and tuck themselves behind the war factory, but they're at risk of running into the Anthrax here. Takes out 1 Chinook. We are down to the last couple of units. This is a crazy, crazy game. Okay, V's now got a bit of a mission, micro mission here to deal with this, and they should be able to deal with it. I think Google's just going to run out of steam. Got 1 more quad. And Shaye is somehow managing to hold. He needs to put these Chinooks. He's got like 3 Chinooks that need to drop off some supplies. He could drop it off over here. Google's Demo Rebel Ambush will be cooling down now. Probably what, halfway towards cooldown, something like that. Google's squeezed out 1 more quad. I definitely would think about selling like the palace, for example. Because like, what do you even need the palace for at this point? You don't have any money. Loses the market to the Spectre. Selling everything now is... You need to squeeze as many units out as possible and win the game now. Otherwise, I think Shaye has done it. How the hell has Shaye won this one? I have no idea. Crazy, crazy game. Sneak attack used once again, but I'm not sure how much stuff. It all depends how much stuff is in there. And I don't think there's very much. Ooh, he has got 3 quads. And everything he kills, he is getting the bounty money. A10 used. Kills the sneak, but the quads are already released. Perfect leaflet there on the quads. And I think that could have ended Google, to be honest, because that perfect leaflet there disabled all of his vehicles, so he has nothing else. So Google started selling some stuff. He sold his arms there. I definitely would sell the palace as well. Selling one of these tunnels, selling one of these tunnels, one of these tunnels. Every unit you can squeeze out now is going to come down to the wire. Demobite moves in on the Vs. He's going to get 2 Vs as well. Painful loss there for Shaye, but doesn't really matter too much because he's the one still collecting. He doesn't have the supply lines upgrade though, but he is still collecting. I think Shaye has managed to do it. I really do. Google has nothing. Making 1 demo bike. Why has he still got the palace though? It's just like... Get 1250 back from that palace. And that could be... What, you could get 2 demo bikes out of that? 2 demo bikes, 1 quad, 1 Terratech. Any of those things could be... useful to you winning the game now. 2 demo bikes do move in. He's going to go for the war factory here, but he can just delay in the inevitable because Shaye's still collecting. Fuel air bomb potentially here from Shaye. I think it is the fuel air bomb. He's going to try and kill the CC maybe. He needs to kill these workers though. The fuel air bomb actually could kill the Spectre. Ooh. Not even sure what happened there, to be fair. But the CC is glowing red. Doesn't quite go down there. Been going for the CC there a little bit brave. Sneak attack once again here from Google. How many units has he got? He's got 2 quads, I think, or 2 bikes even. It's going to go for this supply here. The Demorable Ambush has got to be ready about now. This is a crazy, crazy replay. I didn't know we were looking at a potential Hall of Fame replay. Demorable Ambush needs to be ready now, but I don't know how ready it is. Google's not selling. Here comes the Anthrax Bomb. Shaye could start force firing the ground. That would clear this up. Anthrax Bomb used on top of it. V does escape, though. Yeah, Shaye could clear that up if he starts force firing the ground here. This is a weird game, man. It's going to come down to Demorable Ambush versus the Spectre Fuel Air Bomb and stuff like that, isn't it? That's what it's going to come down to. Has Google even got a worker to repair? He should have made a worker, shouldn't he? Because now, without a CC, I think he's lost. He's got no other firepower. Yeah, okay, he's got 1 demo bike, but even if you kill that, the support powers alone are going to kill you. It's going to be support powers versus no support powers. No units versus no units. So yeah, I think Shaye's done it. Very, very impressed. Google's got to be kicking himself thinking, you know what, I was so close to the victory here. Shaye literally has nothing. But I think that's one downfall of Google, and I've seen him do this a few times. He's always sending in his bikes in single file fashion. There's 1 bike here, 1 bike there. He's never sending in 2 bikes from here and 1 bike from there at the same time, like 3 in total or 2 in total. He's always sending in 1 at a time. Okay, there was 2 there, but it was still going in single file. Google's been defeated. What an amazing replay there. Well played to Shaye. 5-4 is the score. Okay, so jumping into the next game, we've got Google now with the Super Weapon General under a bit of pressure here to get the win with the weaker army. He is with the red colour up in the north of Cold Territory. Down in the south, we've got the blue colour, which is Shaye with the Gilet Demolition. Okay, normal build order from Shaye. Nothing funky. Barracks, 2 supplies, fake arms dealer, couple of tunnels here and there. Firebase from Google in the same place that Shaye did his before. Don't know if it's in range of that tower or not. A long shadow there, isn't it? From such a little tower. I think it's because it's downhill and because the sun's supposed to be up there somewhere. Yeah, Google pretty good with his USA. He's quite confident in just defending the initial attacks and then pushing out with the Vs just like you need to. Terratech on this right hand side. It's actually a tech RPG. But it doesn't really achieve that much. Yeah, sure, you killed 1 dozer, but you've delayed your first attack, really. You haven't caused any economic damage or anything like Google did in the previous game. And you've lost a couple of RPGs inside of there as well. Got a demo trap there on the right side. Never technical. Is this going to be a tech terror now? Yeah, it is. It's going to be on the firebase. But again, though, it's on a firebase. You've killed a dozer on a firebase so far. That is no harm to the production at all, and no economic damage as well. So your problem is that those V numbers are going to be getting up very, very soon. Third supply going up for Shaye. Similar game to before, really, isn't it? Because Google was building his third supply around the same time. The difference is the economic damage on the Chinooks has not been done, or a TNT on the supply. Well, this supply has not been done. Yeah, there comes another one there. Unfortunately, he loses the technical, but at least he's hit a supply this time. Okay, Tech RPG versus the Vs, and one technical goes down so far. Combat drop here on top of this tower, on top of this building rather. Tunnel there gets cleared. And Google now continuing the push down the middle. No bunkers taken here, and I suppose that's the problem, what I said before. If you are putting... Because I recommended you put your RPGs inside of the tunnel rather than inside of the bunkers, and I suppose that leaves you then open to a big V push straight down the middle. So yeah, maybe Google was right to take at least one bunker in the previous game. But I think here we are looking at a 1-1, but super weapon winning both times, it looks like, because Shaye is in a lot of danger now. Where are those missiles going? I think they were after these technicals that popped. Went inside the tunnel there, and then went out over here, so the missiles were actually chasing him across the map. And that's what was going on there. So Shaye's going for a counter-attack, though. The Dozer... He's rescued, I think. Unless that's a V inside of there. Could be a V. Supply there has gone down. There is another supply already in play for Shaye. Google now bringing this V army back. Google's been defeated. Wow. Shaye's 6-4 up. I did not expect that at all. I thought it was going to be another 1-1. I thought it was going to be 5-5. But yeah, Google's been defeated. 6-4 is the score. Well played there to Shaye. Okay, jumping into the next match, we have Vendetta 6-4. So Shaye just needs one more to win, and Google needs now 3 in a row if he's going to take this set. Google down in the south with the China Vanilla in the red. Up in the north, we have got Shaye with the blue GLA Vanilla. So battle of the vanilla factions. I think China does have an okay chance here because around the sides, especially like here, you can get a flamer in that can change everything. You can get a flamer here, maybe like over them supplies if he builds a third supply, something like that. And you can go for a truck rush, which will surely get in and kill at least like 1 or 2 workers, or at least keep the GLA busy for a little bit. And Google is going for that truck rush. He's going for a war factory behind it and an airfield. So there was a terrorist in play there, so this truck so far has not got anything done. There's a fake arms dealer, so technical is going to be a little bit later. Truck trying to make its way inside. There are a load of RPGs here and a terrorist, so be lucky if that does get anything done. Flamer is the first unit out, and there's going to be a Helix no doubt behind it as well, and then probably drop the next Flamer, I think, on top of the war factory. I'm pretty sure that's what's coming. Technical here is going to harass this truck, and the truck is still going to get a load of workers though, I think. Ooh, no, it doesn't get anything actually. Okay, first Helix is out, and there is a Flamer out as well. So now the correct counter to this, if you just see the Helix now and it's like flying over your base, you want to make a demo bike to stop that Flamer as soon as it gets into the base, because otherwise this Flamer is going to be dropped on your base. Like even if you've got 1 quad, you're not going to take out that Helix or the Flamer when it drops down on your base. So Google, interestingly, is it going to drop over this side and then come in with this Flamer on the right side? Just going to do a double Flamer attack here at one go. Shaye has not seen this other Flamer here, so this is a really well-coordinated attack. But the technicals here, supply going down, and wow, look at this. Shaye's going to be looking at his entire base on fire thinking, what the hell is happening? What the hell is happening? These 2 technicals could still win the game, though. Tech RPG, especially if he gets the super tech. Shaye doesn't even have enough money to rebuild a supply at the moment. He's going to have to sell some stuff. But yeah, he could get a super tech here, and he does get a super tech. But yeah, he's on a lack of money. He needs to finish this supply. But the Flamer here is going to continue to cause damage, and these quads, I think, are all going to go down here to just 1 Flamer. That Flamer, those 2 Flamers there, absolute MVP. Maybe MVP of the tournament. And the super tech there has gone down, so I think Shaye might have lost. He's on $61. What has he spent his money on? Oh, he's built another supply over here. He must have sold something and built a supply there. But he's still at risk of going down to this one flamer though, because it's still roaming around killing everything. So I think this is exactly what Google needs really for a bit of a comeback, because then he's going to get to play with the GLA versus China as long as he doesn't mess up. Yeah, you're anticipating this is going to go all the way to 6-6. Technical here, trying to kill the flamer. I think if that gets a super tech, he's still got a good chance. He does get a super tech, but there's 2 MiGs already on the case. So yeah, that technical there is going to go down. So this is looking like 6-5. What the hell are we watching? Google mounting a bit of a comeback here. 6-5 is the score. Very well played. Okay, jumping into the next game. We are on game number 12. Well, obviously we missed number 6, but theoretically we're on game number 12. We've got Google in the north of Vendetta with the Jelly Vanilla in the red. Down in the south, we've got Shaye with the blue China Vanilla. So yeah, Vendetta is the map. It seems to be a very popular map nowadays, and important to note that these crates here are worth more than the normal 3.75. It's almost double, really, isn't it? Not quite double, but it's like plus 50% on the normal supplies. It's going to be 2 supplies here from Shaye. Is he going to go for the same build order? We are seeing a lot of copycats nowadays, copying the same build orders. I mean, you think if one thing just worked against me, how can it fail then against the enemy? He thought about going for the same, but bit of hesitation there. You don't really want to be going into any game ever with any hesitation like that. You want to be 100 dead set on what you're doing, 100% dead set on what you're going to do before you go into the game. And with this random reverse nowadays, they've chosen their armies, you've got all the time in the world to think about it. If you want to make your opponent wait for 10 minutes and say, be right back, someone's at the door or something like that, then there's no rule against waiting times between games. I'm not saying that's right or people should be doing that, but you have got all that time in the world. So, I mean, if you need those 5 minutes, make your opponent wait to think of your strat and get it right when there's a lot of money on the line, because a winner here of 3rd place gets $400 and the loser will just take $200. I say just, it's still a nice prize, but you want to double it really, don't you? You want to take 400. Okay, 3rd supply now in play for Shaye. He's gone for a barracks now. This truck is still roaming around trying to cause some damage. He did deny that tunnel there in the mid. Shaye's here now with a GAT. There's a technical here. Ooh, unloads right in front of the GAT. And the GAT gets the crush on everything. What an amazing GAT. There's more of a bad tech RPG there from Google. Unloads right in front of the GAT. It's a little bit questionable. That's a good start, and Shaye's already on 3 supplies now as well. Has that truck been brought all the way back? Oh no, this is the one. He's gonna have 3 trucks here, which would be pretty cool. This guy gonna continue the push in and might kill some more stuff. Kills 1 worker, kills 2 workers, kills 3 workers. And it's distracted Google at least for a little bit. You can hear a Helix out. Only 4 tank hunters so far. Needs a 5th to get the horde bonus. So RPG moves in, almost gets the dozer. Gets around the middle. Google is now on his 3rd supply. This truck's still roaming around. It's got to be the longest truck. The longest truck roam around to kill workers ever. Shaye's at risk of losing the Helix here. It does go awfully low. That truck is still in play. Does survive. He got a little bit of a heal there from the speaker tower. Flamer down the right hand side, but I feel like the flame harass, especially in the early game, was a bit lacking. The first gat straight down the middle was all well and good, killing the tech RPG, but following that, there was no sneaky flamers around the side until this one here. Okay, so Google's not in the greatest of positions because Shaye does have a lot of map control. He has security of these oils over here. He's got flamers on these hills now and stuff. I don't think he can reach the workers there. Gonna be a little bit close though. A little bit hot collecting them supplies, put it that way. But Google does have this supply over here. And Shaye only has one of the oils so far. He does have a red guard there. There's no reason why he can't get that one. Shaye building a gat over here. He's got 3 helixes out. Big push here from Google, and it's right having the defenses here, but if your bunker's not loaded and your gat's not finished, then it's not that great. And Google is going to kill the gat there. I don't think it was cancelled. Shaye does have a hell of a lot of gats though with the chain guns as well. One Scorpion there does fall, and I think these quads will fall if they do take the fight. I think a few gats will go down, but those quads are actually retreating for now. Because the chain guns, 25% extra damage. We'll just wreck these quads all day long. Palace going up. Flamer here has shut down a large chunk of this and killed all the workers. Google is on 2 arms dealers. I think, yeah, I like what Google's doing, mixing in a couple of Scorpions because they can tank the damage up front against like the gats, and then you can do all the damage with the quad. So I like that, mixing in just a few. Little attack here from Google on the right hand side. It'd be nice if he takes out at least one of these oils, because then you're weakening Shaye's economy whilst maintaining your supply lead over here. Just need to remake workers on that supply. And one oil here will go down. Will he just continue the push, or is he going to bail now? He's going to bail. Shaye realized those units have gone back inside of the tunnel, so decides to abort the attack over here on this left side. Bit of a quad attack here from Google on the right side. I think he's going for this oil again, but he does need to be careful because if Shaye sends his whole army over there, he could just stop all of this. Even just a few units actually still might stop this. I think at least one quad there is going to go down, but Google's bringing in some reinforcements. One gat, one quad went down. Google creeping forward. This tunnel's on this left-hand side. Remember, Google's fighting for his tournament life here. If he loses this one, he is... well, he's already out of the tournament, but he's lost the 3rd place battle, put it that way. Because, of course, Google was defeated by the mighty Fargo. Okay, big attack here, but there's so many units here for Shaye, as well as the Inferno, so that's probably not a fight that Google wants to take. He's preparing a battle bus. He's getting a few RPGs. He's got a Jean and Kell out as well. I think he could take out a few of these. Yeah, he could take out a few. With the help of the battle bus here as well, could be pretty nice. There's a very nice mix of units here from Shaye, but the front of his army there did lose a few units. What, 3 or 4 units, something like that? Maybe 5. Only 3 workers selecting here for Google. Does need some more. Only 3 workers selecting there as well. No workers shoes yet, and only 4 workers collecting there, and 3 here. Yeah, Balbus. No match for 9,000 helixes, that's for sure. This caused a bit of damage there to the helixes, but the Balbus goes down. Okay, Inferno's clearing up now the tunnels, and the problem is if he kills like 3 more tunnels, he's going to be level 3. And when he's level 3, carpet and artillery does set GLA back quite a bit. Google deciding to counter-attack on this right-hand side. If you can't take the fight, I always say to take the fight where you can take it, and he takes the fight to the right side. He could kill the oil here and then also push into the main base, and it might force Shaye back to his base. See, the main advantage of GLA is these tunnels. You can go in one tunnel and teleport out somewhere else. Helix is now continuing the clear up operation on this left-hand side. No AP bullets yet for Google. A few units here out of position for Shaye. Google is level 3. Shaye is level 3. Google now building a CC. A couple of stingers here and there for Google would not be a bad idea. He's got 1 so far, but I think he definitely needs more. Google does have a lot of units, but likewise, Shaye has a lot of units too. Okay, carpet bomb now moving in. If it's on that tunnel, that could have been absolutely epic, but it's actually going to be on this supply here. And these quads now can't go inside of the tunnel, and they're going to be stuck now with a firestorm, a bunch of helixes. And Shaye is looking really, really dominant here with the China Vanilla. But he has firestormed some of his own stuff, and suddenly that army now looking quite a lot weaker now. He's firestormed a load of his own units. He's mainly got Infernos and a few weak Gats now. Helixes here will repair the army on the ground. The subliminal mesh in speaker tower. And here now the artillery. This is one cool thing. If you use a carpet, you kill all the workers. As soon as the guys remade the workers, then you can artillery it. And now you've killed an extra load of workers, and you've killed the supply down to the hole, rather than using them all in one go. It's actually very, very smart. I've only seen that happen like once before this, or when I've realized it and how good it is to do that, because now he's lost an extra 600 from the workers. He was only collecting on 1 worker now over here. He is almost mined out though, so you could argue it's not even worth it. Yeah, to make any more workers over there. Whoa, 2 helixes went down. That's absolutely massive, really. So Shaye's now collecting from the supply over the left, so he does have the economic advantage. He is mined out here though, whereas Google is still collecting. Shaye's still collecting from 1 crate there and some on his main. So yeah, I think economy-wise is pretty even at the moment, because Shaye was collecting on 3 supplies quicker earlier on in the set, in the game rather. That's why he's mined out there faster. Google now bunkering in a little bit. He's got a few stingers here and there. He's floating a bit of cash though, 6.5k. Carpet here is going to get taken out before it gets any hits. Shaye thinking about some aggression, knocking on Google's door, but now he's just going to go back. There are some mines here, so these battle buses do need to be careful. I think Google knows there's mines there, though, because some of them have been detonated before. And he has sent a worker there to clear it, but there's a gap there. So he clears some mines, but there's still some left. Battle buses and the quads. It does have AP ammo now, so that's why these helixes are going down a lot quicker. The longer Shaye hangs around now, the more markets and more stingers and stuff go up for Google. He does have a fair few markets now. Shaye has a beast of an army. Just look at the size of that army. Absolutely crazy. I think he thinks that Google's out of position completely, but it's only a small portion of his army. He still has a large chunk of it here. Infernos now have the napalm. 3 quads there and a tunnel have gone down. Shaye's ahead in terms of XP. Quads moving in on this left-hand side. And Shaye, I think, is going to have to go back and defend that. Otherwise, he's going to lose probably, what, all of his base? I don't think he can defend that with just what he's got here. We will now get some veterancy from the kills here as well. Got a Vet 3 quad there, which is very, very important for taking down units very, very quick. We will now taking down the power. Helix is moving in, but I think that's probably a little bit premature. Big engagement here. I think Shaye will eventually actually clear this up. He does have a large army here, I suppose. Very, very nice clear up. Google loses a load of quads. This front supply here now going down for Google. It's annoying for him because he's still got quite a bit of cash there left to collect. What is it? Close to 15k? Yeah, close to 15k. But Google does have some markets. He just needs to survive, really. He's got the bounty money, so he just needs to survive, and it's a big just. Just needs to survive against this massive army of Shaye. Yeah, currently 1 market going down. If he can get himself to level 5, like 1 Anthrax bomb can just end this. These Scud launchers are a really nice transition. I think like 1 Stinger here might not be such a bad idea. Not even sure what that was. Probably EMP. It gets shot down before it delivers its ordnance, if that's the right word. Is that the right word? Ordnance? Does that mean bomb? I don't know. Okay, artillery now from Shaye. I think that's on the main base. There is a mine drop here. Let's take out the arms dealer. But Shaye's splintering his army up, and when you do that, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the battle against the battle buses. 1 Scud storm up for Google, actually. A few quads here do get disabled. Helixes now move in, and this is actually a beast of a battle. If this is the final game, what a way. What a game indeed. The true China vanilla versus GLA match, and this whole front area now for Google has fallen. He's really going to have to go into survival mode, and Shaye's under a bit of a time limit now, because as soon as Google gets to level 5 and fires that Scud as well, it's going to be all laughs from him then. So Shaye is under pressure to close out and win the game now. Does have a load of helixes still. Google has this army of quads here, but the helix is now moving in on this right hand side. I think already, you know, even though we had a few imbalanced matchups, this is already shaping up to be one of my favorite sets. Like the battle you're seeing here and the battles we've seen in the previous games as well. Been absolutely phenomenal. But the problem is here now, Shaye's army is getting a little bit too thin. Helix is moving in on top of the quads rather. And maybe Google's been broken at this point. Has he been broken? It all comes down to these helixes, what they're able to do. Google dropping down an arms dealer over here on this left hand side. Arms dealer here is going down. Inferno cannon's killing the markets. Killing the markets over here as well. And it looks like Google's going out. Is it still possible for Google? I don't know, man. He has a Scud launcher. He has some quads. He's got an another arms dealer going up, actually. Does he need 2 at this point? All of these markets going down for Google. No cells. Any cell there that you got could have been pivotal to you winning this set, because every little penny counts now. Similar to a previous game. What was that game we saw before? The demo against Super Weapon, when everything came down to the last couple of units. You could be headed into a situation like that again. And every little penny is going to count. Google is not far away from 5-star, but he's still got a little bit of a way to go. Mine drop placed in front of the war factory, but was there not already a mine drop there, or did I imagine that? Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I'm still thinking of that one back in the base here. But yeah, it's not quite on point, that mine drop, because it's not right outside the war factory. I don't know if it's because of the terrain, because it's on a bit of an angle. Maybe it deployed earlier than he wanted to or something like that. But Shaye's now collecting on this supply here, which we counted before was about 13 or 14k there, something like that. Yeah, Google needs to get Anthrax, needs to get the sneak attack. He's sending his RPG out here just to see what's going on, and he now knows what Shaye's doing over here. Okay, Google's got his Scud launchers out. And his quads. Still got the AP ammo, remember, so them helixes got to be a little bit scared of coming in. But there are 5 helixes. I think Google feels a little bit pressured to get something done now, because the more Shaye mines from them, the more he's sealed his victory here, I feel. RP Bomb moves in on this tunnel. Google just needs a few kills to get the sneak attack and the Anthrax, and he's probably going to get all the bounty money from these kills as well. Both players hesitant. It's like a game of chess, really, isn't it, at this point? These helixes could just move in on the base of Google, though. Is Google just going to go for a base trade here? Kashak comes in, steals 1k. That supply there has been sold. Helixes do move in on top of the base, and these 2 arms dealers here are going to go down, I think. Google is going to continue with the base trade. It seems very, very hesitant, though. This supply has been forced to be sold. This is now going to continue the kill on this second arms dealer. That supply there has gone down, but Google has lost his entire base. So it's going to come down to these units versus this and this. I think I prefer Shaye's position because he's got better support powers and more maneuverability with the helixes. But yeah, all it takes is one wrong move. Like if those walk into 2 scuds, they could just go down. Google's going to continue the push. Maybe just he feels the pressure now. He's going to get the kill on this. Gets himself some XP. He's working his way towards level 5. He needs to get that level 5. Shaye's actually dropped down a supply in his top right of the map. Long distance collecting. Shaye needs a support power here. What is this? Could be mines. Oh, baby. That's an EMP. Disables the entire army, and Google has been defeated. Well, according to that, Google is out, but I happen to know that there is another replay, so I'm really confused now. I must have been sent the wrong replays or some replays that don't count. I happen to know that there's another replay, so Shaye uploaded all these replays. I mean, that should there go to 7-5, so Google should already be out. It's not first to 8, is it? It's not best of 15, is it? Yeah, I need to do some checking into that, and then we'll come back with the next game. Okay, so jumping into the next match. Now, I've done some checking. It's actually taken me several hours to figure this out, but what I actually did, you remember on game number 6 that I said was missing, and at one point I have re-edited this video and been back and tried to correct myself, but the score has been wrong throughout this, so we are because that game that we missed, actually Google won it. I didn't even realize, but he had loads of Vs with the super weapon general, and he basically pushed through and won with the super weapon, and he also won with the Tox that previous game. So the correct score is 6-6. So we are here at the decider. So yeah, it's taken me absolutely hours to cast this set because of all these issues. So sorry, it's not my best. I did think about re-recording the whole thing, but I just decided I've already spent too long on these replays. I've got some new casino map to try out. So we're at 6-6. We're at the final decider, and we've got Shaye against Google and an Air Force Mirror. Both players here going for a drop. We've got a Chinook here with a Dozer inside of it and 3 MDs. That's a more standard drop, I think. And we've got Google here with 4 MDs, which is going to be slower because it needs that 4th MD to get out. But it is going to come in and move in onto the base. But over here, actually, Shaye's not even collecting. He's left himself short of a Chinook. Now, as Shaye's done a drop inside of Google's base, taking down the Dozer. I'm going to put some pressure on this airfield straight away. He could also even laser lock this Chinook, I think. And this Dozer here running around, killing these ranges. This is why this is a more common and standard build now. You can use this Dozer to actually crush some stuff. Drop behind here for Google, but it's a lot slower and a lot less impact. It's not killed a Dozer. There's actually a first wrap up now for Shaye. And so yeah, what is that that's gone down now? Both Dozers here have gone down. Google's on 1. Shaye's on 1, so both Dozers have gone down. But I feel like Google's taken way too much damage there from just a 1 single drop. He lost a lot of range as well, which is a lot of income as well. So drop here from Google. That's already taken quite a few hits from the Raptor, but it does survive. The MDs here going to try and get some hits on something, but they're going to be chased away by these ranges. Shaye is slowly killing the power plant here, and he's got his first wrap up and out now. Shaye's got a few ranges. He could get the capture upgrade and go for the oils. And wrap here takes out one of the Chinooks there of Google. And Dozer here gets the crush on one of the MDs. One Chinook there picked off. Google's on 3 Chinooks in total. Shaye's on just 2 as of right now. This airfield is pretty low and that power plant pretty low. Another Chinook going to go down here for Google. Actually, doesn't go down. Does survive. Very, very low, though. And here comes another wrap now from Shaye. Ooh. He's left a lot of Chinooks low, but no confirmed kills yet. He's got a load of, like, 2% HP Chinooks. Shaye still chasing away these MDs. Very important, this match, because this next game, whoever wins this one takes an extra $200 than the loser. Chinook there finally does go down after all these hits. Another Chinook there for Shaye goes down. Shaye's only collecting on 1 Chinook right now, so economically he is behind, but Google's not in the greatest economic shape anyway. He's making Comanches actually and waypointing them around the map. Drone placed down here to reveal the Chinooks. Another Chinook there for Shaye does go down. It's just Shaye's on no Chinooks right now, but he is capturing the oil from the mid. MDs here for Google are still running around. Another Chinook there does get picked off. And Google's only collecting on 2 Chinooks right now, but it's still 1 more than Shaye is. But Google's MDs here are going to get found now and are going to go down to the ranges. Could be controlled a little bit better because they could still get behind here and cause some more harassment. One Comanche there does go down. This one over here, the oil got denied, but Shaye does have the middle oil now. Another Chinook falls, this time there from Google, and here as well. Shaye now on 2 Chinooks. Full HP. It's coming in with 2 Raptors. Another 2 there for Shaye go down as well. Very, very nice hits there from Google. And another one over here. So both players on no Chinooks as of right now. Crazy scenes. Google's actually selling 1 airfield because he needs the money to rebuild another Chinook. That's bad times. And Shaye's in a good lead because he's got the oil. So as long as they both got no Chinooks, then Shaye is still collecting because he's still getting $200 from the oil. And Shaye is also geared up to get these other 2 oils in the corner as well. Okay, Google now in the main base of Shaye once again. Shaye's flying around with this wrap to defend the Chinooks. Very, very nice defense there. Another Chinook there for Google. Does go down. And all while this is going on, Shaye is happy just to keep collecting from the oil in the mid. He's dropping down another airfield. Shaye could even get these as well, but nice split fire there from Google. But the problem is for Google, he's not collecting at all. He's not collecting anything. He's lost all of his dozers and he can't build another one from the CC because he doesn't have enough money. He could sell the barracks maybe and get one more Chinook out, but I really feel that Shaye's taking too much of a lead now because he's the one still collecting with the Chinooks. He's still collecting supplies, and also he's still got this oil in the middle, and Google only has 2 wraps. These 2 wraps are going to come in and try and get damage done. Goes for the power, does hit the power, but Shaye is making loads of ranges. And the supply there has gone down to the 3 wraps, and Shaye takes it. So, GG. Well played there to Shaye. Very, very impressed with his level of play throughout that. And I think the disconnected game as well, the Stealth versus Tox game, that we also didn't see, because we didn't see Game 6, which Google won, and we didn't see the replayed Game 3. I mean, this whole set has been a complete mess. It's taken me so many hours to get this video out and had to re-record so many parts of it that it's been an absolute shit show, to be honest with you. And there's missing replays and disconnects and all kinds of issues. But yeah, hopefully you still found it useful. It's still the right score in the end. And I think it went to the rightful winner as well, which is Shaye, which he performed very, very good. I know on this day he was actually warming up against Fargo, I believe, practicing air mirrors and stuff like that. So it showed it paid off there. And Google, I don't know if he was practicing or not. I guess he was, but was he practicing with like someone as high level as Fargo or not? I don't know. So yeah, GG. Congrats to Shaye. Takes away $400. Congrats to Google, who goes 4th place and takes $200. GG. Well played, and see you in the next one.